asking people how they're doing and start asking people how they're feeling.
So I gotta make sure I'm watching the news.
God will never waste pain that's offered to him. Nothing is ever wasted.
Everybody that I gotta plan a week gon' be straight. And that we tie that red that you won't hit, so you better not be late.
This is a place of development, and I'm not gonna die here. Dang.
Cause I love it, I don't care about the fame.
Yo, welcome to the Young Vagabond podcast, man, where we navigate the journey of life together through truth and love. I'm your co-host, Bryson.
I'm your co-host, DJ.
More like Chip J over there.
I'm a special guest. I'm Makael, Calhoun.
Bro, we got you.
Hey,
They
bro,
not ready for you yet. You the special surprise.
These chips delicious, man.
Ain't no way, bro, smacking in the mic.
Hey, bro, got a special ASMR episode, man, for y'all. Hey, bro, we are in episode 2. Bryson, you got something?
Oh, episode 2 of season 4. Best believe we knocking at the door because we back for more. I done said more so many times.
I feel like
hold on.
that one last time.
All right. This episode 4 of season 2. Best believe we say we finna bless you like you sneeze, I chew. You feel me? You feel me?
There we go. There we go, man. That's what's up, bro.
I'm waiting on Reach Records to send me the deal.
Dude, they need to, bro. Go ahead and sign you, man. Hey, man, well, we here. Season 4, episode 2. Man, doing nice, living nice. Ready to give y'all a bit more, man. Some game, bro. We here for it, bro. We on it, bro. But before we start, of course, always want to remind you, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, to follow. If you're watching on YouTube,
yes, sir,
to hit that subscribe button. Linktree is in the description. So go ahead and follow all of the things, the Instagram, man. Follow the TikTok. You know what to do, man. Get at us. Sorry, I got a burp. Ooh, sorry, y'all. This kind of starting off a little wonky. But anyways, yeah, man. Do all the things, man. If you want to support us, of course, Cashapp is in the description as well, man. We appreciate all the giver bonds, man, the donator bonds, man. Of course, if something hits you today, bruh, and you want to share it with somebody else, please, man, send that share, man. And of course, like, comment, man. Let us know what you kind of want to hear, man, what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, man. And we appreciate all of y'all. And God bless y'all, you know what I'm saying? So, man, we are here today. Today we have a special guest. And Bryson, I'm going to let you do the honors of introducing our special guest.
We got a kid from the coast, and they ain't talking about Cali. He may pray for you if he catch you in the alley.
Yeah.
Best believe this man has been through the highs, the lows, the peaks, and the valleys. It's Mr. Makael Calhoun coming at you, man, from Goshen, Mississippi.
And Cal, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Happy to be here, bro. I really appreciate y'all inviting me to do this. You know, this is a big thing.
We are honored to have the Calhoun. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Calhoun?
The Calhoun, bro.
Yeah.
With us today, man. So we gonna just decided to have this conversation, man, and just to hear your story. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we are looking forward to it, and y'all know how it go. Y'all know this first question. If you watch the pod, you know what I'm about to say. Hold up, let me get my hair out of my face. My hair all in my face. Man, my favorite question to ask. What has been, y'all ready? What has been, I don't think y'all ready. I said, what has been your favorite conversation of this week? I want to go first, you know what I'm saying?
You got to think.
Hey, bro, you know what?
I got to think.
Let's switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's switch it up a little bit. So, fam, I guess it's not like technically this week, but it has happened right in the course of last week because, you know, I was a little sick. So, you know what I'm saying? I was in my room.
Free DJ too.
For like a good little bit. You know what I'm saying? But one of the conversations I had this past Friday, let's go. Was with the legend, man, Pastor Brandon, Pastor PB, man.
PB, peanut
you know
butter.
what I'm saying? Appreciate him. And just, I was kind of giving him a little, I guess the conversation started with the Lord, but kind of moved on to him. I was kind of telling him about this revelation I'd had recently, just with, I'm kind of always been a person who likes to have backup plans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the backup plans come from, if I'm depending on somebody, I always want to have a backup plan in case they don't come through. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about this memory. As a senior in high school, I got the pleasure of doing my school's Black History Month assembly.
Oh, okay.
And that was a dope experience, right? And it was tough though, because working with people, right? That was my first time ever, I would say truly like, well, I had led before, but like, you know, boots on the ground, building something from the ground up. Yeah. And like we had so many adversities, y'all. It was crazy, bro. First off, they didn't give us no money or resources, bro.
Dang.
We went to the art room to ask the art teacher, hey, can we use some of y'all's supplies? And I kid you not, bro. This is what she said. This crazy. This crazy comment that I'm about. Because it's Black History Month, right? She said, we already did the Mexican month. I kid you not. That's exactly what she said. I kid you not. That's exactly what she said.
Ain't no way,
bruh.
boy.
Because they had done the Spanish Heritage Month, bro.
Ain't no
and
way.
She said something like we already did the Mexican. She said something like that. It was crazy, bro. And it was me and my friend Landon. Shout out Landon, bro. Dope dude, bro. He was, you know, my ride or die, my second, like, you know, partner the whole time, bro. And we literally were just in shock. I'm talking like just disbelief, because she was like, no, y'all not getting one supply. So I kid you not, we had to like gather supplies from just teachers who were willing to donate, you know, like, hey, I got some construction paper, I got some markers. And man, like, it was an awesome experience, because I think adversity really breeds good leadership. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can lead when things are easy, but when things are difficult, that really is a testament to how you can lead. You know what I'm saying? When you're leading through adversity. And I feel like that taught me a lot about how to keep people encouraged, how to keep people disciplined, because people, when adversity comes, some people want to dip out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, this was cool when I could just get out of class to help with, you know, doing Black History Month stuff. But now that I got to actually work for real, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So keeping people disciplined, keeping people focused and encouraged, that was hard, right? But say that to say, we get to the day where everything's supposed to go, and then, you know, everything going as planned, we think things going to be good. I leave to go help somebody do something, because we had basically turned all the hallways into like, kind of like a museum, right? So it would be like each class did something for, like, had some sort of poster for like a particular famous Black person, right? And so we had different sections. So some halls would be, you know, sports, politics, you know, whatever. And so anyways, I went to go help with that. I get back, somebody had tripped over like the audio station, ripped everything out. So now we go from an assembly that's all prepared to now we got no audio, right? I'm freaking out, right? Because it's like, man, I trusted you to watch over this. You know what I'm saying? What happened? You know what I'm saying? Because I just left somebody over it. And then, in addition, my principal, which shout out her, Dr. Lane, one of the most positive influences in my entire life. She was hard. And I think that was kind of a moment where, like, I probably needed somebody to kind of comfort and help me out. And I kind of got met with some of that tough love. Because I was like, can we please move? Because it was earlier in the day. I was like, can we just please move it to the end of the day? And she was like, no. Like, I don't care what's going on, figure it out, you know, type of thing. And like, we figured it out, right? We worked, I mean, once again, we had people, oh yeah, I got a, you know, amp over here. I got something over here, the choir director helping, getting different supplies. We had the most ghetto setup. You know, we got a Bluetooth speaker somewhere, something like that, bro. But I mean, we made it work. But I think that was, you know, I hate to use the word trauma, because it's like, you know, typically people regulate that or delegate that to like things that were actually like unjust or like whatever. But that was a traumatic experience, so to speak, because it taught me your only person you can trust is yourself, right? And there's been many examples of where people have like said, hey, I'm gonna be there for you, or I'm gonna help you with this, 'cause especially when it's in leadership. 'Cause I've always been someone who liked to lead, because I had a political organization when I was in high school, stuff like that. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
brag on it. Brag on it.
Hey man, to God be the glory. But a lot of those things, especially when you're young and people are fickle, they say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be there for you. But when it comes time, they're not there. You know what I'm saying? And so from a younger age, I started to believe that lie, right? That the only person you can count on is yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so there's been this big project I've been working on, and I've had people be like, man, I got you, I'm gonna help you out. You know what I'm saying? My family, different people in my life. But because have this mindset, man, I gotta do it myself, right?
Right.
Like, I'd be so stressed, like, about finances, about things like that, because it's like, man, yeah, they said they're gonna help, but like, it's really gonna be on me, because what if they don't come through? And so like, I've even applied that to God, where I've been like, yeah, I know these are the promises that you said, God, that you're gonna be there for me, like, you never leave me nor forsake me. Seek first the kingdom of righteousness, all these things will be added unto you. All those scriptures, right? Like, I know that is the truth, but just in case, you know what I'm saying? I gotta also make it happen, right? And so anyways, talking to Pastor Brandon about that, and him kind of just pouring into me and giving me practical advice is like, not all of that is bad, right? When, Bobo Joe come up to you and say, man, I got $500 for you. You know what I'm saying? You probably need to be like, well, Bobo, that'd be awesome if you come through, but I'm not going to count on it, right?
Yeah.
But there are people in your life, and especially when it comes to God, that are dependable, right?
Yeah.
They have proven that they are dependable, and God has proven himself dependable time and time again. My family has proven themselves dependable time and time again, right? I can trust in that and be confident in that, right? And I think that allows you to be so much more at peace, you know what I'm saying? Like, even applying that to like just a general situation, like when things aren't going well, they can tend to like disrupt our peace, because we're like, I gotta do something to get it back to where it's, everything's going well. You know what I'm saying? But like when we have that confidence that like God's been dependable before, I know he's gonna be dependable again, we can be at peace even through the difficult situation. So that was kind of my conversation of the week. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you sharing that.
God, man.
That's
Thank
a
you.
great conversation.
It was, man. Talk to you, bro.
You don't want to talk about yours?
I'm just saying though, like, matter of fact, no, I go. I say one I had is with my grandmother. My grandmother and my grandfather. My grandparents are very dear to me. Like, I love my grandparents so much.
Shout out.
That's who helped me come to faith, Those praying grandmas, shout out to those praying grandmas that's out there. But no, for sure though, I would say the conversation I had with my grandmother, we were talking about church. She asked me what did I learn from my church service, and where I go to church at, we're talking about right now on the path to becoming a disciple, and like what Bridgeway says, like what it is to become a disciple. And we went through Luke chapter 5, and I think we went through verses like maybe 15 through 21. I may be wrong, may be right, but I got it on my phone. I could check and see. But we went through those verses, and it was the part about the man where they put him through, the man that was paralyzed, the paralytic, and they basically tore down Jesus' house to get him to be saved, for him to be healed. And when we were going through talking about it, I really didn't take this into consideration, but he was telling us like of the different type of people that we shouldn't be and the people that we should be. He was like, the people that we shouldn't be the Pharisees and Sadducees. He was like, we shouldn't be the Pharisees. He was like, the Pharisees was only in agreement to their law. They thought what they were doing was right, and only what they were doing was right. And they did it to judge others and other things like that. And then one that stuck out to me, he was like, but we also can't be the crowd. And I was like, the crowd? Why not? Why not be the crowd? They were just there. He was like, that was the thing, though. They were just there. They were just there to see what the fuss was about. He was like, he even gave us the verse. He was like, where they came, he was like, they just were there to see. They said they seen. They never saw anything that happened like that. And he was like, they didn't say that they hear. They didn't say that they experienced anything like that. He said they just saw. And he was like, we just can't be people that like just sits around see things and not do something about it or try to help out. There was like the paralytic man came through and they weren't trying to move out the way. They wasn't trying to help the paralytic man get closer to Jesus. And then another one was, he was like, we should also be the men who helped the paralytic man. He was like, we should be the men. He was like, because the thing of what they did was they vandalized Jesus' house. He was like, now I don't know about y'all. I don't know how many people I vandalized somebody's house for. And so that part I was just like, wow. I was like, they were so in tune with trying to get somebody to come to the faith that they vandalized not just somebody's house, but Jesus' house. Like, imagine vandalizing Jesus' house. We probably wouldn't think of something like that. We'd probably think, oh, he'll look at us crazy. But just as far as talking about that, and we were talking about it, and when we were talking about it, she was just like, that's good. She was like, it's a great thing you learn. And just talking to her, having that conversation with her, it was just a great conversation. And she also gave me a revelation too. As we were talking about that, she was like, anything that you learn, anything that you hear, she was like, well, what I want you to do is like get a book. She was like, write it down. Like, as soon as you recognize it, write it down. As soon as you feel that revelation, write it down. Whenever you're feeling down, write it down and pray about it. And I was like, that's actually insane that you said that, because that's what I said I was going to do. I was like, I was going to get a book and like whatever I was feeling, whatever I was going through, any revelation I had, I was going to write it down and pray. And then she was just like, and that's just for like the times on like those days to where like you're sad or you feel as if God isn't blessing you, you can go back and look and be like, oh yeah, he truly has been blessing me. So it's just something to look on. And like, I just took that as like, wow, that's great. Cause it's like, it's many times, like even though what you're talking about, we try like to depend on ourselves or we think everything falls on us. But then like it's times where God has been blessing us and just because of the situation that we're in and what's going on, we haven't thought about it. We haven't looked back on it. And that was just something that was just a great conversation to me. All over the place, but it was a great conversation.
Hey, bro. Nah. Draw some bars, man.
No, you did. I feel like something that's kind of been like a common thread through all the conversations is like God's track record. And, you know, I feel like the enemy tries to make us have amnesia. I know we kind of talked about it before, like, but the enemy wants us to forget all the good things that God has done so that when we do get in the thick of it or we do get in the fire, we feel like, dang, God, where are you at?
Yeah.
Or, you know, God, are you going to save me this, that, and the third? When in the past he's done it countless times. So why wouldn't he do it now?
Right.
And what's crazy is it kind of all tied to my conversation I had this morning with Pastor Tyson Cunningham at Vibrant. And, man, just a wise dude. Love that guy. Shout you out, bro. But
Shout out.
He's one of my mentors, and he was just pouring into me, like just encouraging my faith, building me up because of navigating through some good things this season, some big decisions that I'm pondering. And, like, he was just really honing in on this verse that I read a few days ago because I've been walking through the book of Psalms and Proverbs, and it was Proverbs 16:9. Basically, a man plans his ways, but it's the Lord that determines his steps. And, like, that really hit because, oh, my goodness, bro. Damn, bro, it doesn't happen every time, bro. What the world? But that really hit because it was like, man, like, kind of going to that mindset that DJ has, like, I definitely could see myself thinking, oh, I got to provide. I got to do this. I got to do this, that, and the third. But something that I kind of recollected from his story and I feel like the Holy Spirit hit me with was that, like, I didn't get me to this point. God did. And who will sustain me after this? God will. And I was just like, dang, bro, like, I really try to take a lot of stuff into my own hands. I try to rationalize or think through some things when, like, the whole point of our faith is to have faith, you know, is to trust God, you know. And, bro, Pastor Tyson hit me with a fire quote because he said his favorite verse is Proverbs 3:5-6. You know, trusting in the Lord with all your heart, doing like, you know, your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge the Lord, and he will, I forgot.
Make your path straight.
Make your path straight. Yeah,
That's my favorite verse.
Appreciate it. Yeah. But, like, he loves that joint, and he hit me with a quote that was so fire. He said, when we follow our own understanding, it's lacking. When we trust God's plan, it's lasting. When we follow our own understanding, it's lacking.
Wow.
When we trust in God's plan, it's lasting. And that really hit me because I was like, dang, bro, like, going back to what I just said, there's been so many times where I was like, I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, yeah, God, I'm praying for it. I believe you. I trust you, but my actions may say otherwise. But the whole time, like, if I want something that lasts, I move at God's speed, not Bryson's speed.
Yeah. That's a word, man.
That is
That's
good.
a good, man. I think kind of like once again going off of like this central theme. I think a lot of us suffer from recency bias.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there are negative things that happen. You know what I'm saying? Those negative things. Like you should feel a way about them negative things. And I don't think it's like it's a knock on you. You know what I'm saying? If you do. But like I think there is a lot of good, right? And whenever we are kind of in a headspace where we feel we have an outlook that things suck, we will look for things to confirm that outlook. That's another bias, confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And so when confirmation and recency bias work together, it can really lead to this negative attitude that you have. And recently, my mom made me watch this movie. It's called Hope Floats. And she was just so dead set that we got to watch this movie. And I was like, okay. You know, it's not like a super like famous movie. It's just like she really likes this movie, right? And the movie is basically about this woman finds out that her husband is cheating on her with her best friend on a game show.
Wow.
You know, crazy, bro. So she moves out, obviously. She moves back home, right? And she is just depressed. Obviously, like rightfully so. I mean, your man cheated on you with your best friend. That's crazy, bro. That's trifling. And like the point of the movie is that there are a lot of really sweet, awesome things happening around her that she just is unable to see because she's so focused on the fact, because she also has a kid. That's another thing with the guy, right? She is so focused on the fact that my husband and the father of my child cheated on me, right? Which, once again, that's a valid thing to take a while to recover from, right? But it gets to this point, it's like, this has happened. Nothing can change that this has happened, right? We can rehearse everything that we could have done to maybe have stopped this from happening, but at the end of the day, you can't time travel. Like, it has happened, right? And I need to feel and deal with the ramifications from that, but I can't change it, right? And at what point am I going to continue to let this thing that happened be the determining factor for all of my decisions and the way that I view life? Like, at what point am I going to continue to let that do that? Or at what point am I going to go, this has happened, but there's still more life to live. You know what I'm saying? There is still things. And so the whole point of the movie, there's this other dude who, is in love with her. And like, he's doing all these sweet things. He's obviously a great guy, right? But once again, she is so dead set on what she used to have that she can't focus on what the blessings of her future are. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of us do, is that we are so focused on what we used to have that we can't see what God wants to bless us with, right? And we're so focused on, man, I know for me, it was like, I used to be able to get into every organization and everything I applied to, but I can't even see all the different ways God was opening up doors for the contracting work I was doing, the photography stuff that I was doing. It's like, I'm so focused on what I thought I needed, right, that I can't see the blessings that God is providing right now. And so that's why my mom made me watch that movie. It's because, even at the time, I was just kind of like, oh, that was a good movie, but I'm still not really getting why she made. And it wasn't until a few weeks later that I was like, man, when I started having my own revelations about, like, man, God has been good. There are good. Life is still good, right? There are still good things happening in my life that I began to see. Okay, that's why that movie. Why she made me watch that movie. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, that is something that I feel like a lot of people are stuck in. Right? It's not that there are no more blessings, right? And you just waiting on your blessing. Your blessing may already be there. You just haven't wised up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's good. Also, like off to piggyback off like what you talking about, like as coming to Christ, I went through this Bible study course class, this guy named Cameron Johnson. And what he made me do, like even before fully like coming into Christ, and I didn't even understand this, like what you're talking about with your blessings, what he made me do was he made me draw a line, like a long line, horizontal line. And y'all can do this too if y'all want to, but he was like, go back to your earliest age. And he was like, put down something that was a very low point for you and put down something that was a very high point for you. And he was like, do it all the way into the age that you are now. He was like, whatever you can remember from your earliest age. So if that was 10, it may be 10 for you. If it was 6 or 7, 5, whatever age it is. And he made me do that. And he made me do my low to highs. And once we were done, he was like, so like, tell me what you see. He was like, let's talk through it and things like that. And like you said, like I didn't realize how much God was blessing me without me even knowing it until I did that line graph. And I was like, oh wow. Like he was there the whole time. And I didn't notice. And it was like the lows and the highs. So it was like, God is always there. He's always with you. But it's hard to see that, like you said, because we're so stuck on our past or what we used to have. And so it keeps us from stepping into our blessings.
Right.
So that's good. I like that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the book of Esther. You know, the book of Esther is the only book in the Bible that don't mention the name of God. But it's in the Bible, though.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like God is in the details, but it doesn't explicitly say it, but he's moving all about throughout this story. And I think that's kind of like a resemblance of what you guys are talking about. It's like, you know, a lot of times we may not see God. We may not feel like God is moving, but he's always working. He's always doing something.
Yeah.
And always working something out for your good. Because I believe that, like, the story's not done until the story is good.
Yeah.
Because I believe that's just how God operates, you know?
Yeah. And I think even just like, once again, it's like learning to see the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think of course, the scripture, Philippians 1:6, he who began a good work into you will bring it unto completion until the day of Christ, right? Sure. Right? You may not be complete, right? And where you're at may not be complete, but that doesn't mean there's not good in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think like overall, right, I could still look at the situation or just even like where I'm at right now, like school hard, bro. Like I'm having like this a hard, like, hey, me and Kel and 2 of the same classes, man. Them classes
Graph
OD,
theory.
bro.
Graph theory
is
killing
going
us.
crazy.
Graph
bruh.
theory killing us
I don't
right
know
now.
what he talking
Not
about.
gonna
bruh.
cap. Graph theory
I
killing
thought
us
graph
right
theory
now.
was gonna be easier than count 3. It not. bruh. I am struggling, bruh.
They lied so bad.
Man, so I could look at that and I could go, man, why do I have to do all this, man? This is so hard, right? Like, this is like my plates. I feel overwhelmed, man. I got other things in my life that other responsibilities. Like, this sucks, right?
Yeah.
I could sit there, I could look at that, right? And I was sick last week, right? Which I can't control, right? I was sick last week, and now I'm having to do the, catch up work from being sick. You know what I'm saying? And I could be like, man, God, why would you let me be sick, right? But you see, the good in it is that I was begging that I needed some rest, right? I was begging, like I've been going since I got here in early August, right, for RA training. Like, and I haven't had a single weekend where it's just been like, okay, we can chill, right? And God gave me the avenue where I could be excused from my responsibilities, right, without feeling guilty, right, and rest. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, I got to watch the demonstration of the community I have, right? Because shout out once again, Pastor Brandon and Miss Tiffany, bro. They brought me soup, man, and they brought me food. I had people constantly checking on me. Hey, if there's anything you need, right? Yeah. The community was on display. That's the good, right? Yeah. I could ignore that for the bad, right? But I would be missing out on the blessings that are already there if I'm over here going like, God, I need you to bless me. I need you to, I need you to do this, that, and the third, right? That I'm missing where God's goodness, right? Where the goodness of life is already at. You know what I'm saying? And so I think just even remembering that yes, man, we are all chasing towards completion and chasing towards perfection, right? And we won't get it there on this side of life. Don't miss the good that's in the present. You know what I'm saying? Don't miss the good that's coming in your future, focusing on what you don't have now and what you used to have in the past.
Yeah.
Because like you are messing with your own peace, bro. Like your own peace is at stake because you are stressing about and reliving the possibilities of things you can't change.
Yeah.
You cannot change what happened. Whether it was your fault or it wasn't your fault. You cannot change what happened. You're here now.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? And like, I think just having that perspective shift, or even just coming to that knowledge of like, you know, people be like, your attitude determines your latitude, or you know, whatever they want to say. But it's like your attitude does determine your outlook, right? And that outlook is a huge part in playing to whether you're at peace or you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And something that's just been like sitting on my brain this whole time we've been talking, bro, is like God's track record is beautiful, and God does beautiful things with messy track records.
Yeah.
So like even in terms of like people or just like situations, like we've seen even in our own lives where God has changed our hearts from depravity or whatever the case may be, right? And taken us and made us into new creatures. Or even like situations we thought that we wouldn't be able to get out of, or situations that we thought wouldn't get better. We saw that turn for our good, right? So God's track record says that he is reliable, he is dependable. So although I may see the mess right now, God is still marvelous. You know what I'm saying? Like, God's still going to do his thing. God is still God. God gonna God, life gonna life. Which one you going to focus on?
That's a bar, bro.
Bar, you trying to get bars. Shout out to Bryce. We need to get him on somebody's song.
This man.
Y'all ain't listening. That's third one now. It's third bar.
Man, he do this, bro. He do this every episode,
sure.
man. Well, shoot, man, I think I want to kind of pivot, right? Because, right, we got you here, Kel, on the pod. You know what I'm saying?
Hot seat.
And you got, I mean, hey, you got a dope testimony. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and so
bro.
I would love for the people who are listening just to kind of get an insight, like, why, like, you're here, right, sitting in this chair with us. You know what I'm saying? And I imagine, like, a few years ago, you probably wouldn't think you'd be on a podcast, right, having a conversation like this.
No,
you know
not
what I'm
at
saying?
all.
And so I just kind of want to hear, like, what's the story that brought you here? You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're comfortable sharing, of course.
No,
you know what I'm
sure.
saying?
So like I told everybody who's heard my testimony, they know. Well, as y'all may not know, but I love basketball. But I was a basketball player. I was playing basketball at Talladega College. I was there for my freshman and sophomore year, and I was in a relationship. Relationship was, it was hard. It was a hard relationship. It was rough sometimes, Everything didn't go as planned, but that's okay. Things happen, stuff happens for a reason. And so after the relationship, fell into what I would say depression, which what I say, but it was just trying to find ways to cope, partying a lot, drinking, drugs, and basically just looking for things that I felt like would fulfill me. Yeah. And I wasn't getting that fulfillment. And the whole time during this process, this thing is going on. I'm like, man, it's like whatever I do is just the same thing. I'm feeling the same thing. And so basically I'm trying to numb myself. But the whole time, like I said, shout out to those praying grandmothers. My grandmother is calling me every morning. She's calling me like, it don't matter if I partied hard the night before. I got home 2-3 o'clock in the morning. She's calling me 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Dang.
During that time range, and it's like, and what's crazy is like that lets you know like God is real. Like God was thinking about me, because I used to tell myself, I'm like, oh, I know my grandma gonna call in the morning, so let me make sure my ring on. Let me make sure I can hear this call. And she was calling me every morning to pray, and that was something that was constantly happening. And so I ended up coming to Mississippi State. I left Talladega. I didn't like where I was at as far as basketball. Came to Mississippi State, was doing school. Grandmother was still doing the same thing, calling me every morning to pray. We had a break. I came home one time, and I told her, I was like, I want to get to know God. Like, I want to get to know who he is for myself.
Yeah.
And she was just like, well, she was like, baby, if that's what you want, God knows what's on your heart. He knows what's on your mind. He'll lay things out for that to happen for you. And that was this is what I say was like the pivot point for me, because I didn't pray those things. Maybe she was praying over me and saying that like, oh, my grandbaby, he wants to know you. He wants to get to know you. Yeah. And when that happened, like things started falling in place for me to get to know him. I met this guy named A.O. Deji. He asked me 2 questions. He was like, hey, do you have a second? I was like, yeah, I got a second. He asked me, the first question he asked me was like, what do you think it will look like when Jesus returns? And I wasn't biblically knowledgeable at the time. So I was like, I don't know. I think it'll be trumpets blaring, thundering. He gonna come in on this cloud. And he was like, oh, so you think he gonna come in like Dragon Ball Z? I was like, I guess. I was like, I don't know. I guess that's what I was like, I guess that's how it works, you know?
Son Goku.
I was like, I guess he gonna come through and he just gonna, you know. And we talked, laughed about that. Then he asked me another question. He was like, if you could ask God one question, what would you ask him? And I said, I would ask him, I was like, why does he allow bad things to happen? And he was like, wow, that's a good question. I was like, what would you ask him? He was like, I would ask him what my purpose is. I was like, dang, that's an even better question. I'm like, I should have asked that.
Right.
I'm like, that's a good thing. And so we ended up talking, exchanged numbers. He ended up taking me through this Bible study course class. Now, at the time, I'm not following Christ.
Yeah.
I'm not following Christ. Like, this is the stuff, it's like the path to try to get to know who God is. And it's like he laid that out. And he took me to this Bible study course class. We did that for a month. And then he relayed me to the guy that was teaching it. He was like, all right, I'm going to relay you to this guy. He's going to help you, walk with you through it. And his name was Cameron Johnson. I went through the whole fall semester doing this Bible study course class. And then after that, I ended up meeting this big buff dude. If y'all know Bradley Martin, a.k.a. Thor, a.k.a. Clay Matthews, if y'all see him, you can't miss him. You can't miss him. Big as a truck, a unit. And I'm not talking about fat. I'm talking about like, he looked like he can pick up a car. But nah, though. I ended up meeting Brad, talking with Brad, man. He asked me who I was, what I do. I told him, I was like, bro, I just play basketball. I lift weights and I do schoolwork. That's it. Yeah. He was like, you're not involved with anything? I'm like, no, I'm still new to the campus. I don't really do anything. And so just talking with him, seen him a couple times. You know, it's like after you see somebody, like after you meet somebody, you see them so much like a lot more than.
Right.
And that's how it was with Brad. Like I seen him, and then after that, we exchanged numbers. He ended up talking with me, asking me about like my faith. And I was just like, well, I'm trying to get to know God. I was like, that's the path I'm on now. I want to know him. And eventually we ended up sitting down, Bulldog Burger, spring semester. He ended up sharing the gospel with me. My favorite verse, I won't forget, Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. He shared that verse with me, walked through me with it, broke it down, and he asked me, he was like, do you want to give your life to Christ today? And I told him, I was like, yeah. I was like, I would love to. I was like, I would love to do that. And ever since then, it's like, I get to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
I get to, I have met great people. Like ever since following Christ, I wouldn't say it's like it's been, you're going to have your times. Like you were saying, we talked about, you're going to have it to where you may have some hardships, some bumps in the road. It's not just all glitter and glamour, but I would say it's a whole lot better than what I was doing before. Like I couldn't have imagined doing things like this. No, I didn't think about this at all.
Right.
So, no, it's been great. And that's how I've been. That's how it's been for me.
That's what's up. Hey, that's a powerful story. Would you say like during the time like before like Christ, did you say did you have like direction? Like did you like I know where I'm going, or was it just kind of like you just making your way through life?
Man, bro, I kid you not, I was making my way through life. Like that's how I was, cause like I was solely focused on basketball. Like even when I came to Mississippi State, like even if I wasn't good enough, to my eyes I was good enough. I was like, I'm trying to play basketball. I was trying to find ways to get on the basketball team, do stuff like that. So that was my sole focus. And so I basically was just going through life, and then I see it not working out how I wanted to. I was just like, oh, well, I'm gonna just do school. Yeah. And coming to Mississippi State, it just changed my life. Like I was like, I always tell people, I was like, I think God knew I was supposed to be here, because I was supposed to be here my freshman year. But when COVID happened and somebody called me, had a tryout for basketball, I tried out, made the team, and then I was doing that. But in reality, I was gonna go to Mississippi State my freshman year. But with that happening, I ended up going to Talladega and playing basketball. Yeah. And so I would just say I was just doing life, bro. Like my grandmother and my grandfather, they're heavily in the church. They're heavily, they follow Christ heavily. Yeah. Like that's who instilled that in me at a young age. Like I used to tell people, if you staying with me at grandma's house, we going to church in the morning. Yeah. Like that's without a doubt. We gonna go to church in the morning. But like I was just doing life, bro.
Right. No, Stuart, shout out Stuart. We got to get him on the pod at some point.
bro.
But shout out Stuart.
podcast.
He says this, that like a life with Jesus is the greatest adventure that you could ever be on. You know what I'm saying? And I think it ties back to this, concept that we're talking about, like outlook, bro. Like when you have the correct outlook, you know what I'm saying, your life becomes an exciting adventure, right? Yeah. Because negative situations stop being negative situations and they start being detours. You know what I'm saying? Like they stop being roadblocks and they become detours. It's not, man, I can't play basketball at this, university. What am I like? That's it. Like I don't, because when you hit a roadblock, when you hit a dead end, the only thing you can do is turn around. You know what I'm saying? And now all you can do is focus on, man, this is where I was walking this way, right?
Right.
And I'm just looking at the places I've already been at, right? But when it's detours, you know what I'm saying? When it's like, man, I didn't get this internship, man. This opportunity that I wanted, it didn't pan out. I know there's something better coming from this, right? I'm not looking behind me, I'm looking around, right?
Right.
And the best outlook is like, man, what is God gonna do next, right?
Yeah.
I'm not looking behind me, bro. I'm looking for, okay, this not the right path. Where is it at, right? And in the same way, when I make a wrong turn, right, or I hit a detour, right, the GPS is gonna reroute, right? Boom, make this turn right here. And I think like a life with God, right, that makes everything just an adventure, right? And everything is not anymore, man, this is a circumstance that's gonna destroy me, right? It's just a detour, right? And I think that's an encouraging life to live, man. That's a life of peace. I think about, like, Goku, man. Goku hit an adversity, bro. He good, bro. He like, shoot, man. A new person to fight, that person stronger than him. He ready, bro.
Yeah.
He excited. Like, and I think about that, like the go-getter adventurer, like archetype, like would it be Goku or, I think about Meliodas for some reason. I don't know if you've ever watched that show, Seven Deadly Sins. Great anime. Well, it was. It's not anymore. It sucks, but it used to be a great anime. But anyways, say that to say, like, they be carefree, but like they life be cooling, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? In that same way that, like, when we are walking with the Lord, it's like, man, we already know that, like, my Father got me, man. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So what happened may happen, right? And I may feel that way. And once again, it's not like I'm a nonchalant about everything, right? It's not, man, I don't care, right? Yeah. You still care, but it's like, man, I know this is not going to defeat me, right? It's just a detour.
Yeah. Nah, bro, you really kind of hit me in the feels, man.
I would say, he was spitting.
Especially with that, what's God gonna do next? Like, that really hit me, bro. Because it's like, we said, like, sometimes we focus on what's at hand. We focus on this mountain that we got to climb. Yeah. Instead of, and we focus on the fact that we got to climb it instead of asking the question, God, what are you going to do next? Yeah. Going back to the whole track record thing, God, all of those moments were, God, what are you going to do in this situation? Yeah. So a question we should be asking in the valleys or even in the high moments is, God, what are you going to do next? Yeah. Like, I don't know, but it really just changed my whole, like, outlook for real. Like, I love that, like, God, what are you going to do next? Like, that really just hit me, bro, because it's like, what are you going to do next, bro? Because, I mean, like, if you look at the Gospels, right, like, that's the mindset I'm pretty sure that the people had, like, the disciples and the people watching Jesus. Yeah. Like, this man performed, like, I think it was in Mark, one of the chapters, bro, performed, like, 4 miracles in, like, 40 verses. Like, that's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dang, what are you going to do next? Yeah. If they had that type of mindset, why can't we have that today? Like, God, what are you going to do next? Yeah. I like that.
Nah, bro. It's pragmatic optimism, right? Because it's not optimism based off of some arbitrary thing that's not attainable. Yeah. Right? And like we were talking about, I like that, like, practice that you talked about, right? Like, going off the highs and the lows, because I think, man, like, and of course there are people who have tragic lives, and I don't want to ever, like, diminish what somebody got going on. But like I think like when we really look at just like, man, the day-to-day life,
Yes.
like it's filled with more good than it is bad. Right.
No, 100%.
And like that's coming from someone who just walked through like a very difficult season, right? Where there were moments where, like I said, like I'm literally crying on my kitchen, not my kitchen, my parents' kitchen, but you know what I'm saying, the kitchen balcony, because it's like, man, this is so like everything is not working out. Like this is so tough, and it's like still there was so much good still even happening. The conversations, the laughs, right? The time spent with my sister, the funny memes on Instagram, like all those things, you know what I'm saying, that are bringing joy, that bring laughter. There are more moments of those than the bad situations, than the own mistakes that I make. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people do that too. They focus on, we are all sinful people, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to diminish that, right? Because I'm. It's not a podcast where we be like, you're great, you're doing great, everybody loves. Like that's cool. Hey, but we got some things. I know I got some things that suck. Like hey, point blank period suck. You know what I'm saying? But even in that, right? The singular mistake or the couple mistakes don't define me, right?
No.
And that there's good things that are coming from my life, right? There's good things that are coming from my interactions. There's positive ways that I'm impacting people, not because of me, but because of God.
Yeah.
But that I can focus on that, right? And that's what I take. And that doesn't mean that I diminish the mistakes or I diminish the bad decisions I make, right? And I don't try and grow from them. But it does mean, man, I'm going to put my outlook on focusing on the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to put my outlook on saying, man, I did make a mistake, man. I did go back into that bad habit. I did call her back up. I did do whatever, right? God, what are you going to do next? You know what I'm saying? Like my outlook is not on what it used to be. I'm not letting this be a blockade where I got to turn around and look what it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, what is he going to do next? You know what I'm saying? Right? Where am I going to go from here? Right? That optimism, right, is based off of the fact that, like, we seen all the good that God's done before.
Right.
We see all the good that is in my life, right? That, like, the life is a journey, right? And that there's good that's we're going to eventually hit good, right? I know this is how it goes, right? So I can trust in that, right? That's pragmatic, right? That is something that's not arbitrary. It's not positivity, yeah. It is tried and true and tested that the goodness of God, right, is going to not return void, right? And I can have the optimism in that whether things are a straight path and I'm going 180, right, or it is a bumper to bumper traffic, right, or it's a blockade, right, whatever it is. I know this is not a blockade. This is a detour. Yeah. What are you doing next, man?
No.
Good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that for sure. What you're saying is like, and then also too, like, is another thing as far as encouragement to people, like even what DJ's talking about, the thing is though, like, God doesn't put you in positions to where it's like you're going to fail. He doesn't put you in something that he know you can't withstand or that you can bear. He puts you in those positions like because he's like, oh yeah, I know this is going to be hard. I know this is going to be hard, but I believe in you. You can do it. And that's also like that piggybacks off like what you was talking about. Like my confidence is in the Lord. What I optimize as far as like my thoughts, my attitude towards outlooking the good instead of the bad, not focusing on the bad parts and focusing on the good parts, not focusing on the past and looking at what's ahead and moving forward. And so just as an encouragement to other people, like God put you in those situations, but just because it's a hard situation doesn't mean it's like, oh, this is the end of the world for you. No, he put that there for you so that you can persevere and so that you can move forward and endure. And so it just adds more to your character. And so that's really what I had to say as far as that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
There's go ahead.
You got it.
Nah, go ahead.
I was going to ask him a question.
You go ahead.
Oh, so Kel, like, DJ talks about the season that he was just in, being down, being kind of depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned, like, before you came to Christ, you were dealing with those same kind of emotions, down and depressed. So, like, what did that that mindset change or shift kind of look like for you being grafted into Christ? And like, did you how was that change from depression to more joy? Or kind of break that down.
This is why I wanted you to go.
Bro, like, bro, that's kind of hard. But like, I kid you not, like, I'll be honest, and like, I got it wrong at first. I got it so wrong because like, with the following Christ, what people get wrong. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say people, but what I got wrong was I thought, oh, I need to fix myself up. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Cold turkey. I started going to the gym. I was doing that anyway, but I was focused on going to the gym, eating right, getting healthy. I stopped doing things such as cursing or talking to multiple women. And so I'm just telling myself like, oh, basically what it is I have to get myself right. And it's like, at the same time, like at the end of the day, I'm broken. I'm a broken person. So I didn't understand that. Like I said, I didn't have any biblical knowledge. So when I got into reading the Bible, like I went to this summer program called Calhoun. Shout out Kaleo. Shout out Stumo for sure. They helped me out for a lot. Like they helped me out so much. Shout out to them though for sure. But with that, like, and we actually picked up the Bible and read it, and then we got into these thing called discipleship groups, D groups. Yeah. And we're confessing sin to each other. We're praying for one another. We're like we're being vulnerable. We're talking about things we may not just talk about to anybody on an open basis. Yeah. And once I got to learn that, that's when I was like, oh, like I'm not the only person that's dealing with these things. I'm not the only person that's struggling. And me just trying to get it right on my own. I learned that like from the Bible, like, no, like everyone has sinned. Yeah. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And I'm like, this whole time I'm thinking, oh, I do this good deed, or if I, if I fix myself up, God gonna love me more than that. No, and it's like I had got it wrong at first. And so once I finally realized that and I stepped into that, that's when that joy came. That's when that depression and all that stuff went away. And I was like, because it's like I understand, it's like no matter what I do, I can't amount to what Jesus has done. He died on the cross for me. He paid the ultimate price. He has done it already. What more can I do? Nothing at all. And so that's when I figured that out, that's when the joy came. That's when it's like, oh yeah, like, okay, now I understand. Yeah. And so that's when I say that's when that shift happened for me.
Kind of like a weight got lifted off of you?
Yeah, it was like a weight off my shoulders. Not saying I don't, look, we still have our worries. We still have stuff like that. I'm not this perfect person. No, not at all. But it was more so like, with understanding that, when I finally grasped that, I was like, okay, I no longer have to do so much. Because I was trying so hard. But when it was like y'all got that saying, what is it?
God, you put me on the spot, bro.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Don't stress, do less, and let God take care of the rest. Yeah.
Bro, especially that last part, do less and let God take care of the rest. And that's literally what it was. I started, not saying I was doing less, it's not doing what I'm supposed to do, but I stopped trying so hard.
Yeah, I think it's like the difference between trying to lift the weight, right? Like when you, like everybody been, well, not, I don't know what y'all be doing, but everyone on this table has been to the gym, right?
For real?
Right, yeah. Well,
He did.
nah, but everybody been to the gym, right? And we know like when we in that final set, right? We start to fail, right? And your arms are locking up and you doing like the lifts. And it's like I can try and push this, dumbbell bar, like off of me, right? Yeah. Or I can have this spotter help me out.
Help me, please.
And I think it's the difference between trying to lift the weight and letting somebody assist you, right, when you failing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like stopping drinking, stop smoking, stop talking to multiple women, doing all those things, right, aren't bad things, right? Like those things are good things to stop doing, right? But if that's it, right, then it's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's back on you, right? Because we got people nowadays, right? I be seeing it on Instagram, right? Where people are like so close to hitting it on the mark, what the Bible says to do, man. People, in their celibacy, what they call it, celibacy era or whatever. I don't know.
For real?
I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying? But
People talking like that now.
oh yeah, people be saying that. You know what I'm saying?
didn't know it was an era.
Right, practicing celibacy. Man.
I didn't know that was an
they,
era.
You know, like hey, bro, in
That's
my
an era
sober
now?
era, like, and those things are good. That I don't want to like diminish you doing them things.
My fault.
No,
let
you
me,
good.
Let me clarify. Yeah, that's some good stuff. It's just the verbiage,
Yeah, the
bro.
verbiage.
It's
Yeah,
the
like
way Gen Z.
era?
Our generation talks weird as a mother.
Like
I'm
the era
sorry.
part is what I'm tripping on. Era is
bro.
called eras now.
You know what I'm saying, right?
I did not
But,
know
like,
that.
the sober era, like all them things, right? You know, getting right with God era. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, hey, you're getting close, right? These are good things to practice. If you're practicing them, like because you know you think that's the right thing, or you're trying to do the right thing, you're not. It's not enough, right? Because what happens when you lose a close family member, right?
Right.
And that booty call you up again, right? What happens, right, when, you know what I'm saying, school is super, super difficult, right? And somebody come, hey, bro, you want to smoke? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's just you and
gonna-
your strength, you're folding.
You
I'm
gonna
sorry.
fail every time.
You're folding, right?
Every
I
time.
fold, you know what I'm saying? Right? I fold easily in the things that I struggle in, right, when things are tough, right? When it's, because that's me trying to lift the weight off of me, right? My
Right.
arms lock up, right? I'm trying to do the reps, and I fail, right? When it is Christ, right, working with you, right, it's him as the spotter taking that weight off, right? And it's you going like, I can't do this in my own strength. I'm practicing now, man, like, this is not an era. This is a lifestyle, right?
Right.
And this is me. Like, Lord, I need you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To work, you to help me, right? Because I can't do this in my own strength, right? And I think when we focus on that thing, it's like I don't need to get right first before I start locking in with God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like through locking in with God, I start to get right. You know what I'm saying? Right?
yeah.
It's not like these are not just some eras, right, that I'm practicing, right? Because I know the good benefits.
Right.
It's like, man, I'm locking in with God, right? I want to do these things, right? And the good benefits still come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and wanting the good benefits is not a bad thing, right? But if that is if that's your motivator, right? There's gonna come a point where mentally you're gonna feel like the benefits from doing this bad thing is better than the benefits from doing this good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when we say, man, just focusing on you, Lord, is the only thing I'm focused on, right? Those good habits and those good benefits come, you know what I'm saying? And the self-help, right? The greatest form of self-help is just locking in with the Creator,
Yeah.
right? Because he made you. He know the optimal settings, right?
Yeah.
He know the best things for you to be putting in place, right? To be fully walking in your purpose, to fully be walking in your peace, right? You focus on them things, those other things are going to come, right? Those good habits are going to come. You are going to want to do things like, man, I used to, smoke or, drink or do these things. But now, right, I know I'm not supposed to do those things because of I'm trying to please the Lord. So I'm going to start working out, right, to supplement those things, right?
Yeah.
Now you going to the gym, right? Now you eating better, right? Because we know that our body's a temple, right, for the Holy Spirit, right? So we want to do things to take care of our temple. Now you eating better, right? Now you putting yourself in environments, right, like church or like you're serving at, doing community service or whatever it may be, right? You're putting yourself in environments to find a good woman, right, instead of being at the club, right, where you find them, guys or girls, right, who are not, like, they at the club for a reason, bro, and we both at this club not for, like, to build a sustainable relationship, right?
Hanging with the
We're there
lot.
for booty, right?
hanging
You
with
know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, bro.
Hanging with Delilah, but you looking for Ruth.
Tell him, bro. See, you hitting another bar, bro.
Look,
that's what, 4?
matter of fact,
5?
y'all call me. I'm gonna call him. You feel me? And we're gonna get it together.
Right.
Lecrae, you call me. You call me, Lecrae. We're gonna get it together for sure.
Like, but I mean, that's real, right? You start locking in with God. You put yourself in good environments to find a good woman, to find a good man, right? And now you have a healthy relationship, the thing you wanted from the beginning, right? You putting yourself in community with people who are doing things right to help and better themselves, right? Who are doing things to please the Lord in their own way, right? And so now you got good friends, right? Who are loyal, who love you. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things come, right? Practically, right? From having a relationship with God, right? And I think like focusing on that, man, like we don't realize the benefits, right, man? We don't realize the peace that come with it, the friendships that come with it, all these things. Even like you said, the fact you're here right now on this podcast episode, all those things come from just, man, locking in with the Creator and saying, man, I'm having that outlook. I'm focusing on how can I chase my purpose in the way God has designed me to chase it.
I think something that I noticed just by going off of what DJ said is it's about perspective, but it's also about exposure and environment. And like something I really admire about you, Kel, is that I remember you had just gotten saved that spring. You spent the summer in Calhoun, and then that fall is when we met randomly. Crazy story. We met randomly in the Union. He was with Brad. They were just going around trying to. What y'all doing, bro?
Basically, we was just trying to go around like meet new people, meet new people and like spread the gospel in a way and just see like what it is, who we'll get to know. Yeah. And we end up running into you and Travis.
Yeah, and he just happened to sit at me and Travis' table and like end up having a whole conversation about the Lord, about life. And then what's crazy is like Kel got exposed to a good community that day because Kel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you were dealing with loneliness at the time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And like because you got exposed to a good community and you made very intentional efforts to keep putting yourself in that environment. Like anytime we said we were doing anything, Kel was the first one to pop up. He was like, I'm gonna be there. And if he couldn't be there, he was making sure to let us know that he could not be there because he knew the practical like implications and the true blessing of not only having a changed perspective, but making sure he kept that environment that he was exposed to. You know what I'm saying? So I admire that about you.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that. But y'all, lonely, I most definitely was on. Like, I spent the whole summer with people from Oklahoma.
Shout out Oklahoma. That's
shout
where
out
my
Oklahoma
mama
though
from.
for sure, but
That's where DJ Mama from.
Shout out to
Love
Oklahoma.
you, mama.
Man. But we most, bro, like, I came here, I was just like, bro. That was the thing I was scared of too. I was like, find a community, because I know like with following Christ, like even when DJ was talking about like you cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need some assistance. Yeah. You need somebody to walk with you, hold you accountable on things. And so like I most definitely was lonely. And then it was like, man, God's so good, bro. He blesses us in ways that I couldn't even imagine, because that's something I was asking for. And it's like when I met y'all, I'm like, wow, you basically gave me what I was asking for. Because you relayed me to a DJ. I got to meet all type of cool people that's in Chi Alpha. Shout out to Chi Alpha, by the way. But, but you know, it was awesome, bro.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I just made the connection now. Y'all two kind of got a similar story in terms of like coming to school and not really having, friends immediately.
Yeah.
Did you know that about DJ, bro?
I didn't. I couldn't tell. No. Look, everybody know DJ.
Oh, we know.
Everybody know DJ.
Hey, look, it's 23K people here. About 22.9K know DJ.
No DJ. If you ain't met DJ, you couldn't have been in school. That's just what that is. You just don't go here.
They missed that day of school.
You just don't go here because there's no way you don't know DJ.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Nah, you're right though, because I'm out of state, so I came here. Back in Texas, at high school, everyone's like, I'm going to UNT, I'm going to Texas Tech, I'm going to Mississippi State. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, I'm proud of it. I got my cowbell, man. Shout out Hill State. But like that was hard, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I've told this story before, like coming to state, right, and knowing that like if I want to redefine my whole like image, right, because back at home I had that Christian boy image, right, and that reputation sometimes kept me from making decisions that I really wanted to make, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, nah, I'm on mission, right, you know what I'm saying? And even environments where it's like, Christian's not supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? I was blessed. I was in those environments, right? But I was on mission, right? I was like, man, I can't compromise. Yeah, I got invited to this high school party, right? If I'm over here acting a fool or trying to talk to all these girls or whatever, right? That's going to mess up my witness, right? Because now it's just like, oh, DJ's exactly like he's not just coming around us and being different, he's coming around us and acting like us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a little side part. But anyways, so I come to school, that reputation gone, right? So if I want to be, playboy, out here, you know what I'm saying, party or whatever whatever word you want to use, right? Or whatever, thing that like you could be, I could be it. You know what I'm saying? Because, God bless me, I got the charisma, right? You know what I'm saying? I got the ability to make friendships and stuff like
He got it for sure. I'm
make
just letting y'all know he got it.
And so I want to be out here living for myself and using those gifts, right, to benefit myself. I could have, right?
Yeah.
But I would have been a lot less happy, you know what I'm saying? Because I would have always been just chasing for the next moment, right? But because I was like, no, I'm going to continue to live according to God's word, right? I've gotten to be a part of, it's kind of corny, but this movement, right? Of people, I've gotten to be a part of, a podcast, right? With,
Crazy.
like that has people who have been impacted and people whose outlook have been changed, right? For all, the better, right? That's a movement, man.
Yeah.
That don't happen, right? If I start living for myself, because I'm not even focused on making a positive impact on you unless I can gain something from it. You know what I'm saying? Right? And it's like, man, choose, once again, going back, like a relationship with God has been the greatest adventure, right? Because I didn't think I would be starting a podcast, right?
Yeah.
When I first got to college, man, I'm just trying to make friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to pass these classes, right? But because of that, man, I have been blessed to be a part of so many things where I'm not living just moment to moment, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I'm getting to be still, once again, different in environments. Because I be joking about the club all the time, which I'm not going to the club. You'll never see me at the club, right? But I've been at, parties or kickbacks or things that it's like, man, DJ here, right? But the whole time, hey, bro, you want a drink? Nah, I'm good, man. You smoke? Nah, man, I'm good, right? Right? Got a Jesus Loves You t-shirt on, right, man? At the kickback, stuff like that, man. Like, I'm getting to be different, right? I'm still getting to experience college. I'm still getting to enjoy the things, right? I'm not boring, living a boring life, not doing anything fun, right? And I'm doing it different, right? I'm doing it according to God's word, right? And people are impacted positively because of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, once again, that is worth so much more than how many girls' numbers you can get, how lit you can get at the function. Like, all of that is not even remotely comparable to what I have now.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And then even for those who are doing that, not to diminish anybody, but like once it's over with, bro, it's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's literally how it felt. Like for me, I was like, I did it, and I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm back to where I was feeling.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it again. Back
Right.
to how I was feeling, and so like it's a never ending cycle. You never get to the point of where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And so like what DJ said, like when following Christ is like that fulfillment is like, oh, I got it now.
Yeah. Dude, that's a word right there.
Yeah, it is. And I know we kind of pressed for time, but I got one more question for you.
Go ahead, bro.
So just like hearing, piggybacking off what DJ said, this relationship with God has been like a monumental thing. It's been a true blessing to him, right? And you said the same thing. Like, what moment was a moment to you where you were like, yeah, I made the right decision by going all in?
Kaleo? Kaleo, bro. We go to Orlando, Florida. 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. Do you know what you can do in Florida, bro? I'm just saying, like, I ain't talking about the bad stuff now. Hold on. Let me get that right, though. Like,
There's a lot
bro,
you can do in Florida.
It's a lot you can do in Florida, bro.
It's because the water clearer than the coast water, right?
All right, bro. Don't get to. Come on now. Don't get to talking about the coast. Hey, bro. Shout out to the coast, by the way. But look,
Shout
y'all,
out Goshen.
don't disrespect our water.
That dirty water.
Anyway, but nah, though, bro. Kaleo, though, like for sure, bro. Cause, bro, Kaleo, cause I was the only person from Mississippi
Had never
State.
seen water like that before.
Bro, whatever, bro. I actually have. Why you trying to be funny? I actually have. Before the oil spill, we had great water. Everybody
never recovered.
Everybody loved coming to our beach. But after that, though, yeah, the recovery process is hard, though, bro. Y'all know how that be. Like if you with surgery and all that, bro, we still going through surgery right
okay,
now though.
right.
It's been years.
So what you saying is Mississippi State
What
need
all right,
to send
then.
some of the wildlife and fisheries
Nah, don't send
majors
it
down there.
Don't. Matter of fact,
Get y'all water fixed.
I ain't gonna lie, you might not even want to go in that water. That water do look, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, Kaleo, bro.
Just being the honey, I love my coach. But anyways, back to Calhoun though. But like, bro, Florida though, bro, like Florida, I was the only person from Mississippi State. And so like Stumo had just launched here. Nobody knew about Stumo. I was the only person from Mississippi State. Yeah. And so with that, like, that helped me to grow. Even with that part, because it put me in like an uncomfortable situation. Like I even tell y'all, like before following Christ, I wasn't this outgoing. I wasn't this outspoken. Like I wouldn't. Really? No, like
that's
no.
wild.
Like I was the type of person I speak only when spoken to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you spoke to me, that's the only time I'm speaking to you. Like that's it. Other than that, though, like
it is crazy.
I was the person in the parties. I'm on the wall on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm not talking, but like with following Christ. Going to Kaleo, it put me in that uncomfortable situation where it's like, now I have to do these things. I'm interacting with different people. I'm meeting people. I'm going, introducing people myself because it's like, oh, I have to get people to know me. Yeah. They have to know who I am. Not saying it as in like a bragging way, but it's like, I don't know anybody here, so I have to get to know people. Yeah. So with doing that was awesome. That was great in itself. Like me doing that, it helped me to grow. I'm like, I get to meet new people. I'm having these different conversations. I'm getting to pick people who are over me. Like I'm getting to pick their brains, ask questions. Yeah. And with that, I was like, bro, that's when I knew then. I was like, I did make the right decision. And then, like I said, back to it, Florida though, bro, Orlando. We went to Disney World. I skydived. That was my first time being in a plane and I jumped out.
What does that have to do with discipleship?
What does it have to do with discipleship? No, as far as like...
You got to let your faith be bigger than your fear. You know what I'm saying?
He said it. He answered for me. But
that's a word.
But what I'm saying, though, is like, even as far as what you talking about, as far as like the adventures, like, that's what it felt like. I'm like, this is an adventure. Yeah. And it's an adventure while following Christ. I'm like, if I didn't follow Christ, I probably wouldn't even got the chance to experience this or do these things. Dang. And so, like, even with that, even though that was like a worldly thing, I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to do this without Christ. Yeah. And then as far as like the D group and all of that, like I've made relationships with people, like honest relationships to where it's like they're like it's family almost. Yeah. And they're in Oklahoma. And it's like, so I got people I can talk to, go to in Oklahoma. And that's when I was like, yeah, I made the right decision. Like I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't with you. Like without you, I wouldn't have done this. Dude, yeah. So, no, for sure. I would say that's when I knew it was like a pivotal point.
That's what's up, bro. Shout out Brad, shout out Stumo,
Kaleo, bro. You know, I heard about Stumo when I was a senior in college because somebody was like...
High school.
Yeah, high school, that's right. Cause I'm not yeah. Anyways, because somebody was like, hey, there's going to be Stumo next year. You better lock in. I'm like, bet. I never saw Stumo. I had forgotten, and I was like, when Ken was like, yeah, I'm in this new thing called Stumo. I was like, Stumo? Yeah. I legitimately was like, bro, like, I remember they're here finally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, bro, shout out Stumo, man. Shout out all the things that they're doing out there. Well, we going to close this episode because my mama, she be getting mad because she be like, because she listened to this when she be on her walks, right? And you know, she not finna be out there walking for an hour and 15 minutes. So, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Hey, bro.
Tell her get them steps in,
yeah, but that'll be a long walk, right? She can do that.
Nah, it will be.
Hey, bro, like the course like 2-3 times. But anyways, so we gonna cut it short for you, mama. But anyways, hey, Kel, bro, we appreciate you so much for being on here and just sharing a bit of your story, man.
I appreciate y'all, bro. This was awesome, bro.
Praise God, bro. No, this was dope, man. Thank you for sharing just some things you have learned in your journey, man, and blessing us, man. We appreciate y'all. And hey, Bryson, I appreciate you, man. I don't know. I don't feel like I got to tell you that enough, man. I really am thankful for it. This man, you know what I'm saying, DJ down for the count, man. He out. Bryson steps up and does our video for us announcing this new season.
Man, behind the scenes.
We took the initiative, man. Knew I was down. Man, be sending me encouraging messages. I just want to tell you how thankful I am for you, Bryson, because like you really are an amazing friend, man.
Thank you, bro.
And all the things that you do. A lot of the community that has been able to be connected, a key part in all of that is you. You know what I'm saying? And you being obedient, and you being loving, and you being someone who doesn't put themselves first, but puts other people first, man. And you thinking about others. Like, so many people have been blessed by that, right? And there's been a community that's been fostered. Of course, all glory to God, but you play a huge role in that. So, man, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you, bro. Thank
Hey,
you.
bro. Just had to
Love
say
you,
that.
Kel.
Don't know where that came
I love
from.
it. I love both of y'all. Love
Hey,
y'all
bruh,
too.
Thank you guys. And thank y'all for watching, man. We appreciate y'all. We ask, of course, man, if you listened to the episode, you weren't subscribed before, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us,
Please.
man. Like, comment, do all the things. Follow us, man. Appreciate y'all. Clips are coming back soon, man.
Yeah.
Actually, by the time this is out, the clips should be like starting to roll again.
Okay.
And we are getting back into the swing of things, bro. Datacom and secure software engineering and graph theory trying to take me out. But the devil is a lie. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
No, that he is for sure.
We about to get back to the full swing of things, man. But appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. And y'all have anything to say before we end?
Only thing I have to say is I appreciate y'all for having me. This was great, bro. Y'all are doing great.
Hey,
Y'all may not know it, bro, but y'all are doing great. Y'all are a movement on campus. I got to
Appreciate
be with
that,
the
man.
two coolest guys in the room. I'm just letting y'all know that now. You heard it from me. You heard it from me, but nah,
Hey,
for
bro.
real, bro. Y'all
Kel
are a
pretty
movement
cool.
on campus, though, for sure. Like, y'all don't know how big y'all are on campus, bro. It's a great thing. I just had to be. If I'm the first person to let y'all know, I'm sorry that I was the first. Y'all should hear it more, though. But just letting y'all know, though, for sure, y'all are. This is great, bro. Y'all are doing y'all thing.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it. Hey, man. Well, Bryson, you know how it go. What do we tell the people, man?
1 subscribe equals 1 help towards getting the coast clean water. Y'all be blessed. Don't stress. Do less and let God take care of the rest. We out.